Hello and welcome to In Case You Were Considering, the podcast where I try to hopefully save you a little bit of time. I'm your host Dustin Friesenhan, and in case you were considering watching The Bell Witch Haunting, maybe I can change your mind.
Oh, my boy on his birthday. Look and smile at it. Smile at my camera. There you go. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Brandon, what? Dude, what? Are there like hillbillies that live in the woods still? Whoa. Hey, look at that. Hey, what if it is? What if this is the Bell Witch? You are living on his property.
Dana? You okay?
The Bell Witch Haunting, there's a bunch of different movies that sort of cover the same story, so this is The Bell Witch Haunting as opposed to Bell Witch Haunting. The Bell Witch Haunting is from 2013 and was directed by Glenn Miller, and this is probably one of the higher quality movies that I'll be doing on this show, but that doesn't stop it from being just utterly terrible. While watching this movie, I got so angry at just the sheer force of how bad the writing was, how bad they set up all the scenes, and how nothing made sense. Having the good special effects and enjoying the Paranormal Activity series, I can see that was pretty much all they were trying to cash in on. It has the exact same sort of premise where there's a kid who decides to start throwing up cameras all over his house and catches all this creepy stuff happening. But that's almost where it starts going wrong right off the bat. The movie starts off with a police officer coming upon the bodies of the members of this family, and then I believe 5 different people set up in a pentagram because why not? It goes back in time several days to when all of this started, and the son is setting up cameras because he's got a new camera, and that's what always happens in these kinds of movies. Alright, fine and dandy. It has a few of the small little, okay, here's a bit of the history, here's some stuff about maybe the Bell Witch, here's a few things going a little weird, and it's all pretty cut and dry for the stuff that you'd see for this kind of movie. And there's one point where the sister has the camera, took it from her brother, and they actually catch something on film. She sees something, freaks out, turns off the camera in order to show her friend who is there the thing that happened. And I thought, oh hey, this is actually a little interesting because so quickly in the movie, they're looking at the video that they have, they're going to start doing something based off of that. And no, that is the one and only time they ever look at the film. He's got cameras everywhere in the house. There's a point where his sister's in his room, there's a sleepover, and the sheets attack them both, cover them up, everything starts going all demonic, and it's all caught on tape. The daughter's screaming, the family comes in, they're like, what's going on? She tries to explain, but they don't believe her. You have this caught on camera. Fucking look at the film. It's right there. Every time something weird happens, every time somebody dies, and lots of people die, it's about, I forget the exact timeline, but it's about 4 to 7 days, and somebody's dying all the time. And it's the same police officer who goes out and finds the bodies, and he's never got a partner, and he's always surprised. You'd think after the 4th disappearance, the 3rd person who dies, maybe we should start investigating this, but no, nothing changes. They just move on to the next day like nothing happened. And that is insane. They never review the film, as I said. There's a point where the daughter's now runs away, disappears into the middle of the night, and they find her gibbering in her underwear, like hiding out like a complete savage. And the dad refuses to seek any help. He's like, no, I paid a bunch of money for this house. We aren't moving. I'm putting my foot down. I'm the man of the house. I say what goes. So he's obviously being a complete ass because his daughter's now traumatized. She's not speaking anymore. She's lost to the world. She's asylum. She's ready for an asylum. She's insane. But no, he insists that they're not going to do anything about it. Once again, he's denying that anything has happened, and you have it on film. You are the guys filming it. Look at the goddamn film. I can't stress that enough, how frustrating it is that people refuse to believe that anything is happening when you have it on film. You have the guy filming it. He has the camera in his hand right now, filming you, and you're denying everything that's happening? Why? I can't get beyond that. Shortly after that, he goes out and he's wandering around on his own, because he's also being possessed. While denying all of this, he's having these moments where he's losing time. He's waking up in the middle of the woods. He actually goes out and kills a police officer who stops him. You don't know if he knows about it, because this isn't necessarily filmed on the son's camcorder. It was filmed on the dash cam of the police car, which was just sort of pasted in later on. So okay, fine. But once again, did he hide it himself? Did he hide it while he was possessed? You could assume that he did it while possessed, just lost some time, hid the body, and nobody found it, so that's why nobody did any more investigation. But there's still so many missing people, and everything's pointing towards demonic possession and these other creepy events going on, and everyone is denying it in the most ridiculous way. And it upset me. I've seen enough of these movies where it's the same sort of premise, where people are videotaping stuff that's going on, weird events, and they're not sure if it's a ghost, if it's just them freaking out. But there's a certain point where you can't deny that something is happening, that at least something is going on. Maybe it's not ghosts. Maybe there's a serial killer in the woods. Maybe you should keep an eye on your daughter. Something small like that, instead of insisting that we're all staying in the house. We're not going to change our lives in any way, shape, or form, despite the fact that people have been found dead, murdered, in our backyard several times over the past week. People are disappearing. There's all sorts of crazy events going on. We're just going to stuff our heads in the sand and pretend like nothing is going on. I enjoyed the Paranormal Activity movies. I liked the slow crawl that they did in them. I liked that you had some stuff that was happening on camera that nobody would necessarily see until later on. And here they did go back to it. As I said earlier on, the scene where the daughter goes to the camera and says, "Here, let me show you what I caught on film." That was never brought up. She never said, when all the crazy stuff started happening, "Here, I got this on film, that there's something going on here, that there's somebody here." Why wouldn't you? And it drives me nuts. I've seen bad writing before that I can forgive, but this, for whichever reason, is unforgivable. If you want to try to forgive it by saying that the dad was also possessed when he was saying that they're not going to leave the house, that they're not going to acknowledge any of this, you could look back to the Amityville remake and you can see how that might work. You could look at The Shining and see how the father's going a little nuts. He gave no real indication, so that is just poor acting, wrecking what could have otherwise been a potential explanation for all this. But instead what you're left with is just somebody who's too cheap to move and who is just too ignorant to accept reality. And not in a way that seems at all believable. The fact that everybody acts so stupidly the entire movie is upsetting. The reason I saw this movie in the first place was it was a random movie I saw on Netflix, and I know that they said that it was rated about 2 stars for me, 1 or 2 stars, but I don't necessarily follow those ratings. As I said, I can enjoy a bad movie. I can look for those specks of gold, but there were no specks to be found in this one. This was pure shite. I was looking for a simple, amusing thing where somebody gets possessed and there's a haunting, and it amuses slightly. I don't have to pay too much attention to it, and all I ended up was feeling aggravated and annoyed. It's not entertaining. I certainly never thought that I was bored, so it's not faulted in that way, except I was aggravated the entire time, and that is not how a movie should really make you feel. It might make you feel aggravated at certain content, but I was just aggravated at the poor quality of the movie, and that is why I would say if you were considering watching The Bell Witch Haunting, hopefully I've changed your mind. So until next time, I've been your host, Dustin Friesenhan. Take care.
Let's go check it out.
Oh my God!